40 chess. Yeah. 40 chess. 40 chess. Let's get it.
Yo, is that Tito?
40 chess. 40 chess. Hey. 40 chess. This a trade show. Patreon where the trades go. Tap in and watch. That's what you came for. Ain't gotta say my name. They know my name, bro.
What's good, man?
We got McNutted in ATM. Always start off the show with a trade from them. You should always make sure that your trade is in. Patreon, why not be a Patreon? Know you wish you could spend every day with them. Tap in and say what you gon' say with them. South Harmon can fill up a stadium. Next time you log in, make sure that you bring a friend. We about to kick off, let the day begin. Go follow the socials. 40 Chess FF is posted. If your trade is an F, you get roasted. Go like and subscribe for the crew. Apple, Spotify, and the YouTube. You know Cooper got the walk too. Let us give you a walkthrough. 40 Chess. This is 40 Chess.
What's good, everybody? Welcome into the first ever episode, Mock Draft Mayhem, and big shout out to Christian, our video editor. You've seen him on a pod or two. Christian came up with this idea, came up with the name, came up with the thumbnail. This is his baby, his brainchild. But something I was pretty excited about when he brought to me is doing actual NFL mock drafts. So actually doing a first round mock draft. But the kicker is, we all think we're GMs. We all think we know better. We think we can draft for these teams better, so we're going to let the patrons decide. We're going to let the people decide what the pick is. So we had a hell of a sign-up sheet. A lot of people signed up, and I'm joined by the South Harmon crew. We got Fizzle just below me. We got Koopa to the what we could say, right. It's a right for me. Right of him. And then, of course, Eric. He's not wearing pants, he told us before the show. So how you guys doing? Eric, how you doing, bud? How's the no pants going?
Oh, it's fantastic. Loving the 5-degree weather up here. It's fantastic, man.
Oh, baby. Koopa, how you doing, bud?
Doing good. I'm excited to be able to draft for, two teams that I hadn't really looked into a ton of what they would need. And I said, I'm going to sign up for these and I'm going to figure it out.
Listen, Fantasy Plumber, all right. I misscheduled, but it's fine. We power through. I kind of had the feeling Eric and I talked anyways on Wednesday on America's game that Eagles were probably going to lose anyways. Like, they broke my heart after that Cardinals loss. Like, I just knew it was done after that. But Fizz, man, how you doing, man? You all recovered, man? It was, it looks like both of us are going to be talking shit to the wall because both our teams will be home.
I'm going to go on the record and say this. I'm a CeeDee Lamb fan, man. So any meme sent my way about the Cowboys, they are never going to win the Super Bowl ever again. Don't worry about me saying they will. I'm not going to argue with nobody. Just whoever wears 88, I'm repping them. That's all I'm doing.
88.
You're not one of those we them boys guys?
Nah, man. Don't worry about me arguing and fussing no more, man. It's over. No more. I'm done with it.
No more. All right, so what we're going to do is we'll pull it up. We're going to use shout out to PFF's mock draft simulator. Awesome. Usually I do about 5,000 of these just by myself, drafting for one team against the computer. But it's going to be fun that we're going to have the opportunity to have everybody kind of chime in, right? Get their opinions known. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say just about every draft's going to be different. And as we get further along here, we might introduce some trade scenarios. Maybe the shitheads can work some deals behind, trade some picks so we get the terms of those out. But this could be a good exercise. One, not only for fantasy football purposes, but just NFL fandom, and then getting to know some of these prospects coming in. Because I imagine there's going to be some picks made where I'm like, who the hell is this dude? Yeah. Like, who the hell is this linebacker? Who's this safety? Who's this offensive guard? And then it gets you in the mood, like looking at him, like, damn, this dude's a beast, right? So let's pull her up here without further ado. Add to the stage. Hopefully,
somebody's going to be able to come back to this episode and have bragging rights in April.
Somebody is. Somebody's going to be. I'll mess this up already. Somebody's going to do a good job of it. But with the first pick here, what do we have on the sign up for the Bears? Looks like Chill Will, and he put his pick in. He's going to take Caleb Williams. I don't see him in the chat room, so Caleb Williams. Let's go ahead and put that one down.
Wow,
Start
that's
the
a
draft.
shocking pick.
Woo! Went out on a limb with that one, boys.
Justin Fields. Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. Any surprises with Caleb at all, though? Like, do you guys kind of feel? Let me take the poll to the room. Fizzle. Do you think they're taking Caleb, or are they going to stick with Fields?
Well, if they keep that pick, then of course they're gonna take Caleb. But me personally, I think with the coach staying, I think they're gonna stick it out. He's gonna stick out with his guy. New head coach, new quarterback. But I think he's gonna stick with his guy.
Gotcha. What about you, Koopa? What's your feeling on Caleb versus Fields right now?
I think it's very 50-50. Either I think that I could see them trading back and doing the same thing that they did last year, where they're going to get a haul and somebody's going to pay up for Caleb Williams, and then they hold on to Fields. Or I could see them just saying, you know what, we're going to take Fields. He's going to go for like probably a second, realistically, is all they're going to get for him, and he's going to get. I would love to see him get sent to like Atlanta. And then they get Atlanta's second round pick, and then that's just their return for Fields, and then they go ahead, they draft Caleb Williams. I think it's got to be one of the two. My gut leans towards they kept Eberflus there. They showed enough that it's something that okay, that Eberflus is going to stick by Fields, and he's just going to be like, all right, I gotta trade this pick away because somebody's going to pay up for Caleb Williams. I keep seeing people say if they pick at 1, it's going to be Marv. Like, I agree. If they pick at 1, it's going to be Marv. But I don't believe that they're picking at 1 if they are not taking Caleb Williams.
What about you, Eric? I did see the report. Listen, there's a lot of these NFL accounts, right? You know, rumor mills and that kind of thing. But the report was today that potentially the Falcons could be trading their first-round pick this year for Justin Fields. Now, that seems extremely rich, and the Bears would be absolute idiots, in my opinion, if you didn't take it, as much as I like Fields. But you're going to give me a top 10 pick for him? See ya. Adios. But what do you think, Eric? What is your kind of pulse on Fields versus Caleb?
I mean, like the other guy said, it's 50-50. What I would do personally is I'm keeping Fields. I'm trading back with Washington or New England. I'm going to get a haul for Caleb Williams, get a couple extra first, second, whatever it is. Draft Marvin Harrison, give Fields another weapon, and then just continue to keep giving him weapons. Like at 9, get another weapon. I don't care. Or offensive line, something like that.
I really believe that they can move back to 2 or 3 and get a haul and then still get Marvin Harrison. Like
exactly. That's what
I can
I'm
see the
doing.
Commanders with a new management, new coach saying, hey, we want the number 1 prospect. We only got to move up 1 spot. So
Ocelot had the second pick with the Commanders. I don't see him in the chat. If you're here, I'll give you a couple seconds here to to speak up what your direction, what your pick was going to be. But if not, if Ocelot doesn't make the pick, Christian did an entire mock draft on his own, so we can use that as a tiebreaker, but we can kind of just go with our gut feel too, what we think the best one is. So another couple seconds on Ocelot, but if he doesn't make the pick here, what are we thinking? Christian put in Drake May for the Commanders at 2.
Drake May, new coach. The new coach wants his new quarterback because he's not going to want to put all his effort into trying to run it up with Sam Howell for his first year in a new place. Like, he's got this opportunity in front of him.
Sam Howell's successor at North Carolina is also a successor in Washington. Who would have guessed? Wow.
I'm gonna say
Sam Howell can back him
on
up.
The coach. I think it depends on the coach, man. The right coach coming in, he might go get Jaden Daniels, man. I think depending on the coach, depends on which quarterback they take. To me.
Eric, are you kind of buying into the Jaden Daniels thing too? Like this rise here at the end, seems like this is kind of like this Anthony Richardson rocket ship that we kind of saw last year.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably, I was listening to, I want to say it was Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks, and they were talking about Jaden Daniels, like, I forget which podcast was it. It was one of the OGs that we have, and they were talking about Jaden Daniels kind of being the closest thing to Lamar Jackson that's come out since Lamar. So if Jaden Daniels, if he has the rushing ability that Lamar has, I wouldn't shock me if somebody took him at 2 over Drake May. I mean, Drake May hasn't been getting the buzz that he was like
yeah.
last year. You know, Jaden Daniels is definitely the buzzy name right now, so I could see Jaden Daniels going at 2 over May for sure.
All right, I can get behind it. Yeah, I don't see anything from Ocelot, so we just we go with Drake May here. I think
Drake
that's
May,
probably
yeah.
just we'll just
go
plug
with
Yeah, I
him
think
in.
that's fair.
Drake May is the pick, and let's see who we got that is up next. The New England Patriots, and we know that's probably being drafted by our guy Blitz. Almost guaranteed lock, right? Yeah. Blitz, if you're in the comments, man, give us your pick there at 3. All right, so 2 quarterbacks off the board, man. The 24 draft, at least for dynasty purposes, superflex leagues. That would definitely be a great sign for how deep this dynasty class is. I'd be pretty excited for you in the 1 QB world. Sorry, my condolences. No one cares.
Nobody cares.
Just add a second quarterback. You guys would be fine. I don't see anything from Blitz either, so we don't have anything for him. And Christian's pick was, Marvin Harrison Jr. to the New England Patriots. We know that Gerard Mayo is now the head coach, so we don't have to worry about the Bill Belichick thing, but what would you guys think about that? Marv to the Patriots.
I don't want to see it.
Ooh.
I don't want to
No,
see it.
we're
Man.
good.
Go to Arizona, please, man. Please.
Yeah, I think in this case, man, New England just doesn't have a quarterback. I think I'd give them Jaden Daniels, personally.
Koopa?
I'm leaning towards it. If we're gonna ride with Jaden Daniels is on the rise, like we go quarterback 1, 2, 3. I mean, I feel like that's probably not going to happen, but I feel like in terms of what we know right now, you got to do it. I mean, these 3 teams, assuming Chicago stays, I mean, they all need quarterbacks. Go 3 quarterbacks. That's what this class has.
Not to be the Mac Homer here, but this would also be Mac Jones' best wide receiver he's had since college, by far and away, not even close. And we saw what he did his rookie year, highly efficient with dog shit at wide receiver last year. The last 2 years, one he had a horrible offensive coordinator situation. Matt Patricia, who can't even call defense, which is his calling card, as we're seeing tonight, and Joe Judge. And then this year, I got no excuses for Mac. He just played dog shit. He played fucking horrible. So is it out of the realm of possibility they try to give him one more year and go with Marv?
If you look at that division, man, Josh Allen, you got Tua about to get re-signed, and Aaron Rodgers coming back. I'm taking a quarterback.
Taking a quarterback. All right.
I need to get
Let's
that
go.
established right away.
We'll just go ahead. We'll just plug in. Let's go Jaden Daniels, huh?
Jaden Daniels,
Filter by
man.
quarterback.
That might be the surprise of the draft so far, though. I think
There we
Marvin
go.
Harrison was probably the pick.
Right. All
I
right.
think this one's a slam dunk.
All right. Let's see who's got the Cardinals. They just walked into a great one. Obi286. So if Obi286 is here, go ahead and type in the live chat here who you would take. But I think this would be a slam dunk for me if I was the Cardinals, right? Marvin Harrison falling to 4. You don't have to trade up for him. Any disagreement there? And also just talk a little bit too, like what that pairing for Dynasty would mean with Kyler and Marv.
I was just about to say Kyler price going up, man. If this pick right here happens, you can bet your money that Kyler, you can get whatever you want for Kyler in most leagues for sure.
And Chris was
Especially
a
if somebody draft Harrison. If I got Harrison, I'm gonna want the doubles. So
Right.
Chris Obermeyer wasn't messing around, man. Ran right to the podium.
Smart man.
Right to the podium. All right. Who's got the Chargers? That would be me. I just picked some random teams, boys. All right. If I'm the Chargers here, I'm on the clock. We're going to rectify the situation. All right. We're going to rectify our screw up. We need weapons. We don't think twice about it. Malik Neighbors is the pick. Sorry about your life, QJ. But Mike Williams is probably getting cut. They are in cap hell, and they're going to save $20 million if they let him go. Keenan Allen is 75 years old, and Quentin Johnston has been an absolute terrible bust. Justin Herbert needs help, and that's going to come in one Malik Neighbors. What do you guys think about Malik, though, relative to Marvin Harrison? Like, how close of prospects, or how excited are you for Malik Neighbors versus Marvin Harrison?
I think they're relatively close. Like it's not like a huge gap for me. I think Neighbors is definitely worthy of a top 10 pick, and obviously he's going top 5 here. So, yeah, I'm fine with it.
Mm, Me personally, I think Marvin Harrison can go 101. Malik Neighbors can go 106 and after, but he's not the 101. So that's like the gap for me for at least 4 picks in the first round.
Gotcha.
So are you
Koopa.
saying here, Fizzle, that Mike took him too early, taking him 105?
I ain't gonna lie, man. I think Brock Bowers might cause some headaches in that draft room too, man. Only because they haven't had a tight end in so long, and they're known for having Antonio Gates for so long. But outside of that, I'm not taking Brock Bowers over Malik Neighbors though. If Neighbors is gone, then you take Brock. But you know,
I think it comes down to the head coach here, whether he wants Bowers or whether he wants Neighbors. I
well,
think he could go either way.
yeah.
We got
You're
car
muted, Mike.
T-Rock down at the bottom there.
This is,
And
look at this guy.
We got an
This
Uber
is-
driver on the
got
live
an
stream.
For y'all that don't know, this is exactly what T-Rock looks like in real life. You can barely see him. He's kind of
My
a shady
guy.
character, right? He just that's why we have him write articles. We don't have him do content too much. There's a light. He's gonna blind himself and crash. We got Xbox. He's on the clock with the New York Giants, and of course he doesn't show up because it's Xbox. That's how he rolls. So, what are we thinking for the Giants? Right, Jaden Daniels going so early is probably just a kick in the teeth for them. I think the Giants would be a prime spot for old Jaden Daniels.
I think I just take Fashanu and call it a day for them.
yeah,
Koopa?
but I would go Fashanu as well. I was gonna say they need to. They can't invest in getting Jaden Daniels with how atrocious their O line is. They're probably spending multiple picks this draft on the O line.
Fizz, our
I'll say this.
rivals, the Giants.
If Malik Neighbors is there, they're gonna take Malik Neighbors, but he's not there. So they gotta address the O line without a doubt. I just think they're gonna try to sneak and get a receiver at some point, maybe early second round. But yeah, they gotta go O line for sure.
Fashanu, let's go. We'll put him on the board. Who we got up next? Oh, the Tennessee Titans. Who signed up for this? Dr. B. We got to rely on Dr. B here. Titans.
doctor.
Joe Alt running to the podium, he says. That was quick and easy. 2 tackles off the board here. Real fast. Who you guys got like between Fashanu and Joe Alt? Like how close of a prospect? I know most people favor Fashanu, the size, the athleticism, but Joe Alt is damn solid. Damn solid in my opinion. But how about for you guys? You guys had a chance to look at the big unsexies, right? The offensive linemen.
Right. Well, Fashanu's been talked about the most. That's for sure. That's usually how it works.
Usually, right?
It's not a big gap to me. I mean, a lot of times, man, it depends on the scheme. The schemes is what really changes with the O lineman to me. A lot of times they neck and neck in a lot of places. You're gonna have a team like the Raiders that's gonna draft a Leatherwood way too early than he's supposed to go. Those type of guys are gonna, those picks are gonna happen. But I like Fashanu probably a little more for sure.
I get behind that. Yeah, DB, 3 quarterbacks, 1, 2, 3, right off the board. So we're starting this one off. The first one, spicy, spicy. I don't think there'll be a lot to have 3 quarterbacks right off the board from the jump, but we will see how that goes. So the Falcons are on the clock, and that is made by the one and only Dynasty Barry, and he's going to go with Dallas Turner, edge rusher. I like it. I think a lot of people would peg quarterback in there, but does it feel like a reach if you're trying to fix your quarterback room with Michael Penix after the national championship game? J.J. McCarthy is kind of uninspiring, and I don't know how exciting Bo Nix is, in my opinion, but it kind of feels like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, hoping that Jaden Daniels falls or you get within arm's reach. Or, Koopa, like you said, trading your second-round pick. Say that were to happen for Justin Fields, right? If the Bears take Caleb Williams. What do you think about going edge rusher here?
I like it for them. They don't have anybody good at their edge rusher. I know that from picking up all the random Atlanta edge rushers who were going to getting a bunch of snap share each other week in our IDP 101 league. I just know that whoever they got is relatively uninspiring. So investing early first round capital, get the best one off the board. That's what they need to help shore up that D line.
Gotcha. Yeah, we didn't have a second pick from Chilwell. He thought his job was done, just taking the first one for the Bears. So, Eric, let me ask you here: if you're the Bears, you took Caleb Williams 1. Where do you go at 9?
Oh, man. Well, they have Komet. Komet was really good this year. So I wouldn't take Bowers. They definitely need some wide receiver help opposite of DJ Moore. I mean, literally, it was DJ Moore, nobody else. So I would take Rome Odunze. Get Caleb and Odunze together. I think that's a nice little pairing.
Fizzle, what do you think about that? Caleb Williams with Rome Odunze and DJ Moore?
Yeah, that's a great combination right there. I like that.
Sign him up. Let's go. Roman Dunze, DJ Moore. I could get behind that comp. Caleb Williams. All of a sudden, we got some offensive excitement in Chicago for a shitty coach and Matt Eberflus.
Yeah, good luck.
My condolences to you. How about the Jets here picking at 10th? Ooh, baby. All right, Shaboba. Shaboba wanted. Joe Alt, gone. Fashanu, gone. His third choice for the Tennessee Titans, and I'm going to mess this name up. First one, Talise Fuaga, offensive tackle. Anybody know about Talise Fuaga? That's the first one where I go, hey, we better do a little investigation here about Talise Fuaga out of Oregon State. Wouldn't have guessed that one for $100.
Only thing I can say is I did a mock earlier, and he was drafted to the Jets at 10, so he's up there for sure.
He's right on point. Let's see what PFF has on old. Wow, hell of a run blocking grade, pass grade, not so great. Looks like he's a mauler, but the Jets would probably take anything at this point. That offense line was disgusting. So, Shaboba, he says it. He wants Fuaga, and he got sniped. Talise Fuaga it is. Hope I'm saying that name right, but we'll figure it out if I'm not. Trust me. Minnesota Vikings are up on the clock, and that's being made by Waddling Tuna, so we'll give Waddling Tuna just a few seconds here to go ahead and make a pick. 3 tackles, 3 quarterbacks in the top 10 picks, 3 wide receivers. What a draft, boys. What a draft. Anybody like really standing out to you outside of the fact that we only have 1 defensive player in the top 10? I don't know a lot of these defensive players who are going to push for top 10 draft capital, but we also kind of have that bias built in being Dynasty offensive players. But Koopa, for you and I in our IDP leagues, that might change and shake up the drafts a little bit, right? You know, usually we'll have that edge rusher sneak in to the top 5 picks in our crazy IDP scoring leagues. I don't know if Dallas Turner will really move the wheels for us.
Yeah, I don't know that we're getting a lot of defense the draft this year. I'm surprised all the talk before this year of how good Brock Bowers is. We're sitting here, we're looking at 11, and he's not coming off the board to back up TJ Hawkinson.
No.
He's going to start somewhere. So you start looking like Bowers is like in this one, Bowers is sliding. Like I don't know where he's going to go, but it looks like at least in this one, he's not going top 10.
Yeah. I don't think that's
not looking like it.
All right, Waddle and Tuna, I don't have anything from him. So Christian had the pick of Michael Penix. Anybody disagree or have somewhere other direction they'd like to see the Vikings go with that pick other than Michael Penix?
It's crazy. I did a mock earlier, and Michael Penix was the pick, man. So it's right on cue.
Right on point. Eric?
I think it really comes down to whether Kirk Cousins gets re-signed.
Yeah.
I think Kirk is, though. I think he is. I think Justin Jefferson, that's been his quarterback since he's been in the league. That's his guy. I believe Kirk, because he even said he's going to take a discount just to stay. So he said he made enough money. I don't see them leaving Kirk.
Eric?
Yeah, I think Kirk's going to re-sign there. So I think personally I would go either a corner or Jared Verse. Because they could use some pass rush help too. Because I don't know if they're going to keep Hunter or not at his hefty price tag. Plus, they could use somebody opposite him. So that would be my pick, either the corner or edge rusher.
All right. What do you say? All right. Everybody in favor of Penix, say aye. I'm going to go Penix. Keep him in purple, baby. Keep him in purple. Jared Verse?
Man.
Everybody in
No.
favor of Jared Verse? Chad, you can chime in too. You let us know what you think. What about you stay close to home, man. White corner, stand up, Cooper DeJean.
I don't know. Jared Verse, they could take if what's the name leave because they might not pay him, so he'll slot right in on the DN side.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would go Jared Verse personally.
Jared Verse? Any opposed? T-Rock, go ahead and speak up too, bud. Nope, he's not opposed either.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna go quarterback though. I don't see it.
All right. Jared Verse it is. Denver Broncos on the clock. Girthworm. Girthworm's rolling around here. Girthworm, you let me know what you want to do here. But Denver Broncos probably going to need a quarterback. Do you think Sean Payton's got the wherewithal to go with a rookie, or do you think they try to fill that through veteran? A Jameis Winston type, somebody along those lines if they let Russ go.
I mean, he's usually gone the veteran route. He hasn't really done stuff with a rookie before, so I would guess veteran route. I would be interested to see if they went Brock Bowers.
Ooh, that would be interesting. That would be interesting.
'Cause he
Girthworm's
didn't
got
draft-
the pick, though.
Okay.
Amarius Mims,
Okay.
tackle out of Georgia. The Georgia tradition of first-rounders continues. And the first Georgia Bulldog off the board is not Brock Bowers.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
you're
love
never
it.
going to go wrong with going offensive line, especially nowadays, so that's a good pick.
They could use the help, right? Bowles has been okay. He's gotten better over the last couple of years. McGlinchey has pretty much been ass for a couple years now, like overhyped ass out of Notre Dame. In my opinion, there was a reason that San Francisco let him go, and like they actually just did the same, if not better, offensively without him there. Like he's just kind of a dude. That's it. So Girthworm's got it. The Raiders, I almost called them the Oakland Raiders, but Jag, he's quick. He's quick. Jerzon Newton, Illinois boy. This is a name, too. When Adam and I were looking at it, just kind of judging how rookie class was going to be, looking at mock drafts through various sources, this was a name that popped up on a lot of mock drafts, and I had to go, who? And then you put on the tape of this guy. And Iowa even played this team, and he didn't really stand out to me, but there's some big games this man has had, and he is a big fellow who moves. He moves. So there's a real good possibility that if it's not Dallas Turner, Newton could be the first defensive player off the board, right? We could be looking at a bona fide top 5 pick. So kind of interesting to see how he performs at the combine, too, because if he puts up some crazy numbers, that hype is going to go through the roof. Who we got next? The Saints? Oh, boy. That would be me. This is my second team. Saints need a lot of help. Quarterback's terrible. Fizzle, you can attest to that.
Don't get me started, man.
They're going to need another wide receiver across from Chris Olave. They're going to need offensive line help. They need a ton of defense. They're about $1 billion under, over the cap. But we're going to keep it sexy. We're going to keep it sexy, and this would kill me. But the fall stops today. Brock Bowers is the pick here. Jawan Johnson did come on real nice at the end of the season. Kind of hoped that he was going to do that all season, but Jimmy Graham played far too much. Taysom Hill was actually used as a tight end. If you're going to get another pass-catching weapon for Derek Carr and try to keep this offense relative, let's build around Brock Bowers, put him in the dome. Who dat nation? Welcome, Georgia Bulldog, Brock Bowers. What do you guys think about that? Brock Bowers of the Saints.
I'd hope Derek Carr ain't there. I think he will be, but I will say if Brock's sliding this late, I don't care what you need. You got to get him at this point for me, especially if you're the Saints and you need tight end. At the time, I'm not letting him slide past me. So even if I didn't need him, I would take him.
Like it. And Koopa. You were on the clock, my friend, with the Indianapolis Colts. About halfway through, look at this. We're doing pretty good. 30 minutes
If I
in,
was in
15
the
picks done.
Colts draft room right now, I would have been very upset because
Ex-
I would have been hoping Brock Bowers fell to me
Exactly.
because
Yep.
he would fit
Yep.
perfectly for the Colts, and
No,
I
he
think he
would.
fits all right with the Saints. But because they didn't get Bowers, I think they're looking at the board and they're going, okay, we don't actually need to force ourselves into an offensive player here. I think they stop the other slide here. They get a corner. They get Cooper DeJean.
Yes. Yes. I'm going to need a poster of him back here, too. The Great White Hope, Fizz. The Great White Hope. We're bringing it back. Jason Sehord has returned. Cooper DeJean. I love him, too. I was talking, I think it was a couple weeks ago. I was on the airing of grievances on Club Fantasy. And they tried to sell me on, didn't he already move to safety? And I said, don't you ever put that evil on me ever again. All right? He's going to be a corner. All right? We're not letting the stereotype keep him down. He's fast, and he can move. Just ask Minnesota. He won the game against them because we never actually lost that game. That was a touchdown. All right? That wasn't a fair catch. And, Koopa, you had back-to-back picks here. You got a pick for the Seahawks.
I
This
didn't
seems like a
even notice I
conflict
was
of
doing it.
interest.
So, Seahawks here. My belief is that if a new head coach, you're sitting here and Penix is still available, that the Seahawks just decide to bite the bullet. They get the hometown guy and they go Michael Penix. If Penix goes earlier, if you know how we were talking, all those teams that they could get a quarterback, somebody reaches on Penix, then the Seahawks don't go it, they go an edge rusher. But Penix is still here on the board.
Yeah.
You look at how all the visits work in terms of the NFL, he's going to come in and visit the Seahawks because he's within the radius that it doesn't cost him anything. And so I think they're going to end up going with Penix. Not too dissimilar to like the way the Steelers went with Kenny Pickett last year or 2 years ago. Just, hey, he's the hometown guy. He's popular. Everyone likes him. And you plug him in with a new head coach.
Keeping him in the state of Washington, too. Right?
That's
Not quite
my
purple.
favorite pick right there. I love that pick.
Penix with an aging Tyler Lockett, but he's probably got another year or two left in him in Seattle. I think they love him too much to move on. Young upstart Jackson Smith and Jigba, and then DK Metcalf. Like, I could definitely get behind that, right? You walk from Washington's weapons right into Seattle's weapons, and you go, we're good. We got this.
Yeah.
I can get behind that pick, right? And, Geno's still under contract, too, so he doesn't have to start immediately if they want to, bring him along slowly next year in 24. That's an option for him to do, maybe have him not start till week 6 or 7. Not too bad. Obi, back up with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then followed by me picking for the Bengals, so don't mess this up for me, Obi. But, Eric, what do you think about Penix? Seattle? You get excited for that?
Yeah, that would definitely be a eggplant fucking emoji for sure.
It's better than some of these where I saw him take J.J. McCarthy, and it made me want to vomit.
No.
No. Before Pete Carroll left or was forced out or told he had to leave, whatever the situation was, that just felt like a Pete Carroll type quarterback, right? Like, here we go. We're going to hand the ball off to Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker 8 billion times and not use JSN, DK Metcalf. And we're just going to throw the ball like 20 times tops. Terrible. All right. Obi's got the pick for the Jags. Says they need O-line help. He's taking Latham. J.C. Latham out of Alabama. Guaranteed that man is a giant monster if he plays offensive tackle at Alabama.
I'm about to say that's a great pick, though. I like that pick.
Pretty good, though. What was most impressive for Latham, right? Playing on the opposite side, but I was actually impressed, and this is a name you guys need to keep in mind for future years. Caden Proctor, starting at left tackle for Alabama throughout their entire run, throughout the entire season. Once upon a time, an Iowa commit. Once upon a time, he was going to be a Hawkeye. Terrible. Breaks my heart. But if this is the pick for the Jags, and they don't mess with it, Fizzle, we're going to do it. The Bengals. They're going to take the boy, Keon Coleman, the T. Higgins replacement. 1 for 1. Lose T. Higgins, get Keon Coleman. What do you think about that as the FSU guy? You watch a ton of Keon Coleman this year.
Man, listen, you know me, I'm always CD over Jamar Chase, but Keon Coleman go over there. I'm gonna scream it even more because Chase gonna have a problem. Not that Higgins isn't though. You know what I'm saying? Higgins is a problem. Yeah, man, Keon, man, that's my Dez Bryant guy right there, man. So I would love that. I would go give me a Joe Burrow share for sure. Ain't no question about it.
Love it. T-Rock, you're on the clock, bud. Finally, he's up. We'll get to hear him speak. Other than riding
how's
dirty.
it going, guys? I've just been I'm packing all my research, 10 patents of research into a 2-pound bag right now. Who's up right now? Is it Buccaneers?
Buccaneers.
Oh, they're
Lead
going
the
to probably
G.
beat the Eagles, so we can come back to them.
No.
They're not
Stop
gonna
it.
look,
deserve
Make
it.
the
T-Rock
damn
made-
pick. All right, you don't
T-Rock
need
made
to
it
rub
in the
this
house,
in.
Okay.
man. He come
So
with
a couple of the
vengeance.
free agents that are notable because we haven't really been talking about free agents: Mike Evans, Devin White, Levante David, Baker Mayfield. But we probably think that they re-sign him and Antoine Winfield. Some of the biggest needs are edge, wide receiver, cornerback. Has Latu from UCLA been picked yet?
He has not.
Nope. Said
He
Mike
hasn't.
I
Evans.
would like to pick him. I think
Duh.
he's been one of the best pass rushers over the last couple of years. And they're all about defense, Todd Bowles and that
Yeah, Todd
team.
Bowles there. They going. Yeah.
So I think that would be great. But if Baker Mayfield shits the bed, maybe Bo Nix if he hasn't been picked yet.
Well, I could see that. Baker so far is doing okay though.
Yeah.
Doing just fine beating the Eagles. Doing just fine. I really like that Latu pick. I always get his name mixed up, but Treon Shianka, their pick from a couple years ago, he's had moments. He hasn't really stood out. Shaq Barrett's been working his way back from injury and really hasn't lived up to that contract that he got. So another edge rusher there in Tampa would not be the worst thing to help out that defense some more. They also, like you mentioned, though, they desperately need corners. You're not seeing it because the Eagles' offense is terrible, but these corners are dog shit.
If
They're
Cooper falls, I think he'd be great in Tampa Bay. Cooper
I can
DeJean.
definitely get behind that one. We got the Rams on the clock, and Eric, you're up. You're picking for the Los Angeles Rams, who just unfortunately got sent home, but it was a great story for the Detroit Lions. Who are the Rams going to bounce back with?
So I have two in mind. The first one I don't think I'm going to go with, but I could see them taking like J.J. McCarthy. I don't love it, but I could see them pulling the trigger on that, having a guy behind Stafford. I don't think I'm going to do that, though, because I think this is a team that proved they're right in the mix, man. We thought they were going to be the worst team in the league this year, and here they are in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
they're right in it. I think they should need some cornerback help, and there's plenty of corners here to choose from. I think the one that I like the best, I've heard good things about, is Terry and Arnold from Bama. So I'm going to go with Terry and Arnold from Bama.
Terry and Arnold. I think his teammate got more of the hype, right? He's had the hype.
I think
Probably
just because of his name.
because
yeah.
of the name, right? And everybody knew him from pretty much when he was a junior in high school. But Terrion Arnold, very, very solid. Pittsburgh Steelers are on the clock. I'm interested to see who's taking this one. Shannon, if you're in the chat, I probably said your name wrong. Go ahead and type in the Steelers. Unfortunately, they just got sent home as well. What do we think for the Steelers? This is the kind of situation you're in, right? J.J. McCarthy's available. Bo Nix is available. Kenny Pickett may or may not be the quarterback in 2024. What do you think they do?
Well, I'm gonna ask y'all. I don't know. This is off topic, but do we think when they took Pickett, that was a hometown thing? Because I felt like I'll say the draft day. I think if they didn't draft Pickett, I think he would have failed to the next round. Because remember, no other quarterback went to like round 4. I think when they took him, they did it because of the hometown thing. But I don't think they really. I don't think that was a Mike Tomlin pick. I didn't say that. I think
I think you're right. I think
Yeah,
I think
he
it was a
might have failed,
hometown
like,
thing.
20 picks if they didn't take him when they took him.
I would be curious. I mean, I know he went already, but if Michael Penix Jr. was here, I think the Steelers would jump on him.
I could see that too. I could see that too. Shannon's got Kool-Aid McKinstry. So back-to-back Bama cornerbacks, teammates, come off the board. They could use some help, but that would be a pretty intriguing secondary, right? Minka Fitzpatrick's still there. They have Joey Porter Jr., who played really, really well, especially down the stretch for them. I'd be pretty excited about that secondary, but it would also signal that Kenny Pickett is probably the quarterback in 24. I think we can all agree the Mason Rudolph story was nice, but we've seen multiple years of that dude be an ass.
Yeah. Yeah, we good on Mason, man.
Yeah, we good with pass, and we know what Mitch is at this point.
I take a Mason Jar over Mason Rudolph, man.
Mason Jar. The Miami Dolphins are on the clock, and that's going to be drafted by Drew Smitty. Drew, I don't know. I thought Drew said in the chat he wasn't going to make it here tonight, but he gave the picks to Koopa. But maybe that was for his other team. We didn't get one for Drew.
I dumped him in. Oh, yeah, because Fizzle. He originally was going for Eagles.
Aha.
Well, yeah, somebody assigned me the Eagles. He could have picked them if he wanted to.
Yeah.
So we don't have. What would the Dolphins need? Christian sent in his mock draft. So his one, he had Jordan Morgan, tackle out of Arizona, going to the Dolphins. More offensive line help for them. What do you guys think? Anybody stand out to you?
Yeah, that or honestly, right now, probably an edge rusher. I was
just about to say, yeah, Chubb.
Chubb major injury, Jalen Phillips major injury. They're gonna need some pass rush help.
Yeah.
What does the contract situation look like on those guys, though?
They just signed Chubb.
Do you really want to invest your first round on two guys who are going to come back from injury at some point? Like, then you got.
I mean, but they're major injuries.
This is,
and you can never have enough pass rush. This is going against Josh Allen.
This is Bradley Chubb's second ACL, by the way, too, and then an Achilles, obviously, for Jalen Phillips. Very, very serious injuries for both of them. Even if the contracts match up, I still think you're going to want some help, right? Andrew Van Ginkel was playing well for him down the stretch. He also went down, missed some time. I don't know if I want to rely on Van Ginkel as a pass rusher.
I mean, they get the ball out so quick. I don't think O-line is a necessarily first round need. I just think defense is what they really need.
I mean, offensive tackle is a priority too, because I just read that Teron Armstead might retire, so that is a possibility too.
Let's see if we even have anybody worthy of offensive tackle. So Morgan, right? Fatuanu, I really liked his tape, the way he played for Washington. But again, another system that kind of lended towards, bubble screens, getting the ball out of your hands quickly. So we'll have to see how he'd hold up in long-term production. But we got some edge choices. We got some offensive tackle choices. Anything else? Secondary help? Xavier Howard, again, missing the end of the year. They did trade for Jalen Ramsey, and he missed time at the beginning of the year, played well down the stretch. And their slot corner was pretty damn good for most of the year. But could they use some more help somewhere? It feels like defense is definitely a spot that I would like to see the Dolphins take or address. Personally.
I mean, a super luxury pick would be Jatavian Sanders, but I think the offensive line or the edge rusher would be more important.
The problem with taking Sanders, it just feels like they don't use
the tight end. They don't really use the tight end right.
Ever.
But they don't have a talent like Jatavian Sanders either.
That's true. Durham Smythe is not good. And
right. Like, could you imagine if Brock Bowers goes here? Holy shit.
Yeah, that'd be something. What do we think? The one that kind of stood out to me, Braylon Trice out of Washington as the edge rusher.
I think that's where I would go, yeah.
It feels like Braylon Trice fell down a little bit too far. I know PFF has him ranked a little bit lower, but I've seen a lot where he's pushing for top 10. Didn't really show up in the national championship game, though, versus Michigan. Kind of quiet.
I bet Mike McDaniels goes tackle. Every mock that I've looked at, they have him getting a tackle. I bet they just keep feeding that machine on offense. Especially if you only score 7 points in the wild card round. They probably want to protect.
All right. Final answers here from the panel then. All right, we got one vote for Morgan from Christian. He's not here. He's with us in spirit. Where do you go, T-Rock? Start with you. Tackle, Morgan?
Yeah, I'll go tackle. Is either Guyton or...
Dude. What do you think, Fizz?
I'm going to follow suit. I'm going to say tackle. I believe defense, but I'm going to go tackle them. I mean, you can't go wrong either way. But
I'm going to lean defense.
Guyton,
so I'd go Trice.
All right. Eric?
Yeah, I would go Trice too with those injuries.
I'm on Trice, so we got a 3-3 split.
All right, well, I'm going
Chat.
Trice. I really want a defense anyway, so let's go Trice.
Okay.
I was trying to stick with my boy T-Rock, man. Damn.
You're good.
We'll see what happens in a couple of months.
Eric, you're back up with the Houston pick. So you got here. Houston Texans.
Oh, I did take Houston. I didn't remember that.
Yeah, look at you go, man.
Oh man, who would I take here with Houston?
JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, definitely not a quarterback.
Hell
They
no.
need a backup just in case.
Yeah,
In case
I mean
Keenum
they got Nico and Tank, so they got like the speedster and the physical type guy. So those are spots are all right. Dalton Schultz is a free agent, so they really don't have a tight end. Could they go luxury pick with Jatavian Sanders? That could be interesting with C.J. Stroud. Man, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Jatavian Sanders.
Luxury pick with
do
Jatavian
it.
Sanders.
Fucking just load up that offense.
That would mess up Dynasty Superflex drafts too, where my plan is to get Jatavian Sanders in the second round.
Yeah,
First round pick to the Houston Texans. Yeah, that'll screw that whole thing up right there, Eric.
yeah. I mean, look at that. Their needs. Number 2 need tight end because Schultz is a free agent, and they have Brevin Jordan, but I mean,
Hey, let's
Brevin
give
Jordan
Brevin
Sanders
Jordan
would be a
of
nice.
love, man. I picked him up late on a couple of leagues, man. I need my boy to come through.
Seventh year breakout, Brevin Jordan. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. Fizzle, your Dallas Cowboys, and you, the GM, not Jerry Jones. You can't mess this up like Jerry.
And look, my last name Jones, man. So that's kind of like my uncle on the low a little bit. So,
Gotcha.
see, the one thing I know about this team, they don't never take the sexy pick, man. I know what I want to take because I think it'll work, but
I don't know. CeeDee Lamb was pretty sexy a few years ago when you guys took
CeeDee
him.
Lamb failed to them. He should have went way before he was drafted. So they took him out of necessity. But I know they want to go. We need a linebacker. That's what they need, 100%. But I'm gonna go sexy, man. I'm gonna go Troy Franklin, man. I'm gonna go Troy Franklin.
That is sexy.
I'm gonna go
Now,
Troy Franklin.
that would
I
be
mean,
interesting.
If you look at, Brandon Cooks might stay, might not. Gallup is Gallup. It's nobody else other than Ferguson
Man,
who's coming along. You get a Troy Franklin, that's making a statement in the first round to me.
Yeah, I mean, you have Lamb, you have Franklin, you have Ferguson. This will be Bill Belichick's best weapon since Randy Moss and Welker and those guys.
Man, we don't want no Bill Belichick, man. Well, I don't know
By
what
the end of the week, he will be the Cowboys coach.
Hey, DB83, I'm sorry, bro, but I'm just going with sexy right now, man. And Troy Franklin is it, man.
DB's mad, man. He got sniped with his Chiefs. Sniped.
Realistically, I don't think they'll do it, but I just believe you put that with CeeDee Lamb, man. That's crazy to me. So
Yeah,
That
I'm gonna go
is
Troy
disgusting. Yes, absolutely disgusting. Green Bay Packers are up, and that's being made by T-Rock. Who you got for the Green Bay Packers?
So I didn't see a ton of total notable free agents. I saw Darnell Savage. Is Cameron Kimchens from Miami on the board?
Cam Kitchens, yes, he's available.
I think either him or maybe one of the tackles I was talking about earlier for Miami, because they've had tons of injuries on the offensive line, yet they've still held it together. Because, David Bakhtiari, he's gone through his 4th knee surgery.
Yeah, he's done. Yeah, almost guaranteed he gets cut.
Yeah.
I mean, Kimchens, you don't see a ton of safeties go in the first round, at least maybe not till later. But what tackles are available right now?
Morgan, Fatuano are the ones that stood out to me. Graham Barton's getting some late run, some late hype. Also Duke, though, so not a lot of people have watched Duke football games. just saying, right? So generally around this type of community, people are like, who the hell's this dude?
Right.
Duke football. That's a thing.
Yeah, I would say I'll leave it up to you guys, either between that safety or Troy or Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma.
It's your pick, man. You tell us. Go with your gut.
I
Go with
think
your heart.
I think Green Bay is that type of team that always drafts like offensive linemen and stuff. So I would probably lean the offensive tackle personally.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be the smartest pick. Yeah, let's go with Troy. I think that'd
But
be
we
an
know it
awesome
won't be
pick for them.
receiver. They never draft those in the first round. So
Troy Fatuano. Yeah. Wouldn't it be great if they did? Right? Not only they
still
let
think
Aaron Rodgers go, Jordan
Jackson
Love
Smith-
wins a playoff game, right?
Jackson
Aaron
Smith
Rodgers
should've-
is sitting
should've
at
been
home.
their receiver.
Yeah, and then they double down this offseason. They're like, hey, Aaron, we're going to get him a first-round weapon. We're going to get him a wide receiver. Eat it. Just the ultimate fuck you to Aaron out the door. I can get behind it. Obi, back on the clock. Making another pick, this time for the Arizona Cardinals. Again, the second one that he gets to make. See where he goes here. Yeah, I think it'd be pretty awesome just to put him under there. Just give Aaron Rodgers a little, haha, gotcha. Little Chappelle show. Ooh. What do you think? Fatuano, Dr. B wanted to see Morgan for the Packers. I could get behind that one too. Cardinals were thinking this pick would be much higher. Need all sorts of help on defense. Nate Wiggins. I was wondering how long he was going to last. Do you think we get a little bit of sadness with Clemson corners? Doesn't they all kind of feel like they've been disappointments outside of A.J. Terrell over the last couple of years?
AJ Terrell's been good.
He's been awesome.
Yeah,
But the rest
dog.
of them have been pretty terrible.
He's a dog.
All kind of been gross. The Eagles are on the clock, and contrary to popular belief, I am not making the pick for this Eagles team. Right? I let other people have fun. Fizzle.
Yeah, that's me, man.
Fix
Bo
my
Nix,
Eagles.
man. Bo Nix.
Fuck you.
I'm just-
Fizzle has been banned for the stream forever.
Nah, you know Jalen Hurts, my boy, man. I don't care about nothing else going on, but Smitty and Hurts, they're my dogs. So, I don't know, man. I like linebacker for y'all. I really believe you need a linebacker. That Shaq Leonard pickup was obviously because you need him. I don't know, man. Y'all getting a little old on the O line a little bit too. So,
For what it's worth, Drew Smitty, he said his first choice was Jeremiah Trotter. That was who he wanted for the Eagles.
Yeah, that might be more of a second round pick, but for sentimental value, I would love that too.
And
yeah,
I don't think Howie's taken a day one or day two linebacker in like ever.
Yeah.
First or second round
But-
specifically.
well,
Ever.
I'm gonna ask you, Mike, because you know your team better than everybody. Who you think y'all would take? Who would you want y'all to take? Then I'll tell you who I would think y'all would take.
We do need linebacker, but that's probably not going to
Yeah,
happen. We desperately need a safety. Outside of Kevin Byard, Reed Blankenship his ass. We're going to need corners. Darius Slay's reaching the end of his rope. Avonte Maddox cannot stay healthy, and James Bradbury has been dog shit. So
You think Blankenship that bad? He ain't that bad, man. He's okay.
he's mid, man.
He make big plays, but he not a good consistent player. I say that.
That's fair. I'm not a huge fan of him though. Gives up too many big plays, just not in the right spots at times. Whole
Roy
defense needs help. Defensive line has been fine, but Fletcher Cox is going to be out the door here pretty soon. Brandon Graham's at the end of his rope, so even an edge rusher isn't the worst thing, even though it seems like we go edge rusher all the time. Also, to the point, offensive line, specifically offensive tackle, the interior is going to be pretty good. They have the succession plan in place for Jason Kelsey. We do not have a succession plan in place for Lane Johnson, who only has a year or two left in him. So, wouldn't hate to see a pick there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, y'all got a couple of holes.
Is there any Georgia defenders left?
I'm sitting here looking now. I mean, I want to go tackle. I want to go tackle for them. Put Jordan Morgan on there, man. Arizona, Jordan Morgan, man. Get y'all a tackle. I really want y'all to get a linebacker, but it's so late in the draft. A lot of these guys they're not gonna start right away anyway. They're gonna be plugged in and out at times.
Kind of feels like linebacker will be something. I don't know if Howie's actually going to address it. He doesn't even want to do it in free agency. He definitely doesn't do it in the draft. So if you think back over the last probably 5-6 years under Howie, what our linebacker core has looked like, it's a who's who of who the hell is this guy? Or so-and-so's cast off. So For whatever reason, that's what he just keeps liking to roll out. Kansas City Chiefs are up. One
yeah.
Dynasty berry.
DB, I'm sorry, man. You
He-
could trade up to get Troy Franklin later on, man. Give me 3 first rounders or something.
He
Come on.
ran to the podium to draft my favorite wide receiver in this class, right? Not the best, but my favorite, Brian Thomas Jr. I love that pick. Brian Thomas Jr. to the Kansas City Chiefs would be eye-opening for a lot of dynasty managers, a lot of fantasy managers in the rookie community. Brian Thomas is good.
Well, the pick got to be receiver without a doubt. So
For sure, please.
no question.
What do you think about Patrick Mahomes now? Rashee Rice, monster. Love that guy. Love that kid.
Good pick.
Now he's got a running mate, Brian Thomas. All of a sudden they go from nothing to, hey, things are looking up.
Yeah.
Eric, what do you think about old Brian Thomas? You like him?
Oh yeah, I would love this pick. He gives them, a little bit of a, more physical presence, so I'd be good with that.
Can't go wrong with LSU, man. A receiver a lot of times. So
Melo Nello's picking for his Buffalo Bills. We'll see if he shows up or we make the pick for him. I know if I was him, I'd be very upset that Brian Thomas just went right before
I
I
was
had
just
to
about to
pick.
say receiver. Yep. Uh-huh.
They need their new Cole Beasley.
Oh, yeah, they need to know. Lad McConkey? Can we make that happen?
Yeah.
Lad
let's do it.
McConkey? Yeah, we'll do a recap here at the end. We'll go through all of them. Trust me. Gotcha. I don't see anything for Melo. Of course.
How you gonna
I mean,
do that?
their safeties are pretty old too, so Kitchens wouldn't be bad.
Christian
Mike-
had J.C. Latham falling this far, so taking a tackle. I don't know about that one.
Gotcha.
Cam Kitchens feels like a really good pick here for her. Like to your point, Eric, Jordan Poyer's 8 billion years old, so is Micah Hyde. And they both
Yeah,
kinda get
Hyde's
banged
always
up quite a
hurt.
bit.
Poyer's still a good player. Has a super hot wife.
That's the analysis.
I
we
would
came
just
for.
I would keep him around just for that. But yeah, I mean Kitchens, they definitely could use some probably a safety help. So I would go Kitchens personally.
Koopa, got any opinions on what you'd like to see the Bills here do with what's remaining on the board?
I think that they've got to do something there. I think Hitchens is probably the best choice with what's available to them. I think I think that if we were looking at potential trades, this isn't a horrible team that would potentially be targeted by some of those ones that have a very early second round pick that is trying to come in and snag somebody to get the 5th-year option. That the Bills might trade back 5 spots because they don't care that much about anybody that's here.
Yeah, I mean, just the way the board fell, right? I really do like Devontae Walker. Adonai Mitchell's got some steam to him. Xavier Legette, I think, is a sneaky first-round possibility. But to get Brian Thomas sniped right out in front of you, Troy Franklin earlier, like just an absolute shit show. Keon Coleman going to the Bengals. Like if I'm Buffalo, I'd be terribly pissed. Yes, you could probably reach for another wide receiver, but it feels like they're stuck in going for safety, offensive line, filling some of those needs. Is edge rusher a possibility too? Von Miller has not been good as of late.
Yeah, he's cooked.
Like that's kind of cooked and over. AJ Epinesa from Iowa was a nice surprise, but I don't think he's a long-term solution for being a superstar pass rusher. Could you think about a Chris Braswell here? You think?
See, my guy knows.
Me knows. Worthy is not already gone. I guess you could probably go with Xavier Worthy. This feels disgusting. Not a big fan.
I like Braswell for them if I had to pick.
Braswell?
Me personally.
Yeah,
I think it's
Braswell's
down
not
to-
a bad choice.
I think Kinchins or Braswell for me. What do you guys? Where you at? Final answers.
What you
Yeah,
said
if you-
about Von Miller makes me say Braswell for sure.
Braswell,
I'd be fine with that. Because
if you're going to make a pick in the first round, you lean the edge rusher over the safety.
Yeah.
For sure.
Let's go. Braswell it is. Detroit Lions. Who gets the pick for this awesome team? Redwards. Haven't seen him in the chat, but Redwards, go ahead. Ryan Edwards, if you got one, go ahead and throw it up there. And while we do, we'll go back and recap it, see what's gone. See if we can get a pick out of him. Caleb Williams 1, Drake May 2, Jaden Daniels 3, Marvin Harrison falling to the Arizona Cardinals. I took Malik Neighbors for the Los Angeles Chargers. at 5. Fashanu, New York Giants, get that offensive line help. Joe Alt, also for the Tennessee Titans, back-to-back tackles. Getting Will Levis some offensive line help. Getting Tajay Spears some offensive line help. Dallas Turner, first defense player off the board to the Falcons. Roma Dunze, pairing with Caleb Williams in Chicago and DJ Moore. Fuaga, giving the Jets some offensive line help. Vikings passing on Michael Penix to go Jared Verse. Assumption Kirk Cousins comes back on a great deal. Amarius Mims, tackle for Georgia, heavy tackle draft. Jerzon Newton going to the Raiders. Brock Bowers falling all the way to the Saints. Cooper DeJean, Iowa cornerback. Jason Sehorn 2.0 going to the Indianapolis Colts. Michael Penix finally getting snatched up by Seattle. The Geno Smith replacement staying in Washington. J.C. Latham, tackle, going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Keon Coleman, the T. Higgins replacement for the Cincinnati Bengals. Latu, edge rusher for the Bucks. Terrion Arnold to the Rams. Kool-Aid McKinstry, his teammate, Alabama running mate, going pick right after to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Braylon Trice going to the Miami Dolphins, giving them some help. Surprise luxury pick for the Houston Texans, Jatavian Sanders, replacing Dalton Schultz and supplanting the surprise ascension of Brevin Jordan, giving C.J. Stroud yet another weapon. Dallas Cowboys fizzle, shocking the entire draft right here, going Troy Franklin, giving them that deep, long, lean speedster that they so desire. Troy Fatuanu going to the Green Bay Packers. Nate Wiggins to the Cardinals. Jordan Morgan, the heir apparent, to my man, Lane Johnson, right tackle to the Eagles. Brian Thomas Jr., my favorite pick of this entire draft, going to the Chiefs. And Chris Braswell, the edge rusher, to the Bills. So, all the way back up. We've recapped it. 3 picks to go. Ryan Edwards is still thinking about it.
No, he said Rackstraw from Mizzou.
Or some other Lions fan talked me out of it. He can't make up his mind. He's going to be like, was it the Vikings that ran out of time twice?
Yeah.
Got jumped.
Man,
Clock's ticking. Clock's ticking, Redwoods. All right, we're going to go once. We're going to go twice. And we're going to lock it in. Enos Rackstraw Jr. Again, probably only the second one of this whole first round that I have no idea who the hell he is or what his game's about. So add one to the list. Gotta go check out Rackstraw. I don't even know if you're saying the name right, but Detroit Lions getting some secondary help. I think that's actually pretty good. Just on the base.
I was about to say, if they don't need nothing else, they need that for sure.
Need some secondary help. Not at the safeties. I think Branch has been awesome as their nickel / free safety, strong safety, whatever positionless place he wants to play in the secondary. But he's not a true cover corner for sure. Whew. They need some help, though. They definitely need some help. I don't think Sutton's very good, even though he wears number 1. Like, I think there needs to be a check for NFL teams. If you wear number 1, you have to, like, be a certain level of good to actually be able to wear that number. Hasn't really passed the bill. All right. That leaves the San Francisco 49ers on the clock, being drafted by... Tell me it's Jag, please. Yes, it is. Jag has got it. Guyton, Oklahoma, offensive tackle. That's where he's going. They need a right tackle within the worst possible way. And they need some help. Hopefully we don't get Brock Purdy break his elbow again because their right tackle / tight end can't block, Hassan Reddick or whoever the hell the edge rusher is. So offensive tackle to the 49ers, ho-hum unsexy, but they need it in the worst way. And we're going to finish out this draft with T-Rock picking for his Baltimore Ravens.
Man, this is tough. I really wanted Troy Franklin, but he went like 10 picks earlier.
I'm about to say, he wouldn't even have made it this far, T-Rock.
I think he might in the real NFL draft, but I don't know. I'm looking at, there's 3 different positions I'm looking at. You brought up earlier Xavier Legette. There's also Adonai Mitchell. And is Xavier Worthy still available too?
He is.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So we could go wide receiver, but it's really hard not to look at the needs that the team has at pass rush, interior defensive lineman, and corner. And I am trying to decide between Quentin Mitchell and Kamari Lassiter. I think that they need cornerback pretty bad. Marlon Humphrey used to be one of the best corners in the league, but he has not looked himself. And I probably would have went tackle if what's his nuts didn't just get picked by the 49ers, Taylor Guyton. Man, I'm having a hard time. The Ravens is usually just pick whoever's best available. So we
Chris
scroll
Jenkins,
back
that'd be
up.
interesting too.
Who?
Chris Jenkins has
Yeah,
the ties with Michigan and Harbaugh's, and
he made himself some money in the college football playoffs. That's for sure.
Do you like Chris Jenkins over Leonard Taylor, though? Is Leonard Taylor still available?
Yeah.
We're out of Miami.
Yep.
Oh,
I don't know much about Taylor, to be honest.
let's go with. So what they say about Leonard Taylor, he's a high variance player that's not super reliable, but super explosive. 6'3", 305 pounds, 3-tech pass rusher. So, and Justin Matabuke, he is a free agent. We're losing a lot of free agent. Like, we're going into cap hell. Patrick Queen, Jadeveon Clowney, Justin Matabuke, Brent Urban. So why don't we go with Leonard Taylor? Since there's multiple corners still left and wide receivers, maybe they'll get them in the second round.
Let's go. Let's see how we did here. So here's the final. Caleb Williams, Drake May, right? You can see there 3 quarterbacks go off the board in the first 3 picks. We have a bunch of offensive tackles going in the top 10. Only a couple defensive players, one at 8, one at 11. So the top 12 picks is mostly offensive guys, kind of the way I think it'll actually shake out. Even though we're fantasy guys and we kind of build that in, we always like offense. Didn't really feel like the greatest star-studded defensive draft to me. A lot more depth than probably anything, just not a whole lot of huge names up at the top. Good solid depth, and then you kind of see it here when you get to the back half. A lot of these good teams, a lot of these teams in the playoffs, with their offensive situations kind of figured out, going that defensive route and getting that depth. So really good first one. Boys, I love it. We had some no-shows. That's fine, but we worked through them, got them out there. Really appreciate everybody tapping in. We're going to do this every week, every Monday, 9 Eastern. Be here, live stream. If you want to take a part of it, come join the Patreon, get in the $5 tier, the shithead tier, pick a team, draft for them. I'm going to go through tonight. We will clear out the entire sign-up sheet, so feel free. Put your picks where you want. Go ahead until further notice. If you like, sign up for multiple teams. We had multiple people pick multiple teams, but we just want to have fun. We want to have picks out here. And then, by the way, if there's somebody on here you don't know who it is or kind of intriguing, go watch some film on them. Watch some highlights. Get a little bit more info. I know I'm going to do the same. There's a few prospects we need to dig in and figure out who this guy is, what's he about, and if he really stands out to you kind of on the tape. So I love it. And it'll give you an idea. Make you a better fantasy player, but also you'll be able to talk all that shit at work, right? Every time we're there talking about draft, hey, we need to take this guy. I always just want to smack people. Like, that dude ain't even a first-round pick. He's terrible. Like, who are you talking about? You get to be the smartest guy in the room just by going through mock drafts. So thank you to everybody hopping on. Thank you to everybody in the audience. And we will be back same time, same place next week. We will get Adam on. He is planning something pretty big here. Adam is planning on getting here. I'll give you a little sneak peek, Fizz. All right, I'll give you a little sneak peek. It'll probably kick some people off right here, but let's just, we'll pop this off. We'll pop this off. We'll pop this off. We'll go right here. Look at that. A little Keon Coleman action.
Yeah.
nice.
So we're working on it. We're working on it. We'll get some holograms in here, and you know how Adam does. He goes like full on with production quality. So Adam don't mess around. He had to give me a little taste here, and I had to throw out a hologram, otherwise he's gonna get mad. Just one. Just one.
He picked the right one. That's for
They're
sure.
nice.
I gotcha. Well, I appreciate everybody. Thank you, South Harmon team, for hopping on. This was a pretty successful one. Make sure you guys, if you're in the Discord too, say thanks to Christian. He came up with this whole idea. He's been putting in the legwork. I just come on and host and talk football, and Come on, Eagles. We got a second half to turn this fucking thing around. Fantasy Plumber's just been out here talking shit, so I just want him to have a bad night. Okay? That's it. Even if we just win by 1, I just want him to have a bad night. Pissing me off.
Yeah, let them pick a little later. Go ahead and win this game.
Alright, we're out of this thing. Peace.